KS Bar and Grill. We are now happy to be joined on the phone by the new coach. Only 2 weeks into the job, may seem like longer. Mark Pope. Mark, congrats, and thank you for your first appearance here on KSR.
Matt, I'm hyped to be on, man. Tons of love for you and Ryan and Drew and the whole crew. Super great for what you guys do.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, you know, I've heard you do some of your intro interviews, so I won't repeat those questions. You mind if we talk some of the details that fans I know are interested in? Are you good with that?
Let's get in the weeds, man. That's what makes Kentucky basketball great.
I love it. All right, well, let's start with your staff. You added, I think 4 of the 5 members have been announced. Looks like a couple really, I know, are focused for you on recruiting. We've got Mark Fox, who I know, and then the Cody that you brought from BYU. Tell people what they're getting in your staff.
I love the staff so far. It's probably the most eclectic staff I've had for sure. And I think guys are not just bringing unique strengths and unique dimensions to the staff, but also bringing them from wildly different categories. I think the breadth of what we have on the staff has got me super excited. We've actually the 4 of us have only been together now for, I don't know, 72 hours maybe, all together in the same room. And
wow.
So it's and what's nice is we've been recruiting so hard that we're actually spending a lot of time together in situations where it's just flowing conversation. And I dig it, man. I'm telling you, I was in the room with Coach Fieger, long time coaching partner with me, and then Jason Hart, who we played together with the Milwaukee Bucks. I've known him forever and love him. And watching those 2 personalities just like bounce off each other, the room was electric. And I'm just like this. And I was sitting back and I'm like, yep, this is exactly what this is supposed to be. That's one example of just those guys making each other better. And I love it. So I dig the vibe, man, right now. It's got to be great. Like, our job is to be great. And in the early stages, I'm like, there's some synergy here with these guys that's going to be really, really special.
It's interesting to say you got to be great. One of the things I've really liked is it feels like you've embraced the call to, this is Kentucky, it's another level, and I got to reach that. Am I right about that?
Yes, 100%. I mean, this is the job. This is the best job in college basketball. It's the most demanding job in college basketball. It's the mecca of college basketball. There's nowhere like it, and with that comes this deal. It's like, hey, you either got to get the job done or you're not. There's no second place, guys. It's just the reality of this job. I know full well what this is. I think I've shared this a couple times, but 28 years ago, when I was walking the whole length of the court to go shoot free throws, and the only thing that entered my mind was, if I don't make these free throws, I will never be allowed to cross the state line into Kentucky again, literally with fear for physical harm. That was the only thought going through my mind. I get it. Like, we say this all the time, but we understand the assignment, and we're embracing it, and it's terrifying, and that makes it beautiful. That's why this place is special. That's why we're just so elated to be here.
Let's talk roster. I know there are some things you can and can't talk about, so I'll just do big picture. You have, by my count, 6 guys now on your roster for next year. How do you feel about what you have? How do you feel about what you're trying to get? You feel good about these next couple weeks? And do you expect to fill up all 13 slots?
Yeah, so you're smarter than me. I'm gonna have to take those questions one at a time. So I'm really excited about where we are today. I think that it's a little bit the way I feel about the staff. This is really artistic. I think putting together a staff and putting together a roster have a similarity in that it's very artistic. It is puzzle pieces. And with every new piece, it kind of changes the picture where you have to readjust the next, what you're looking for in the next piece. And there's so many factors you don't have control over. You don't have control over timing sometimes about when a player is going to commit. You don't always have control over, if he's going to commit. And so, on our big board right now, we're actually working with 29 guys that we've really, really zeroed in on. And every time somebody breaks a little bit in our direction or maybe fades a little bit out of our direction, or as we do more research and more reconnaissance and hear more information about guys and how they're built, it doesn't just change the picture for that player. It changes the picture for all 20, almost 30 guys. And so I'm elated with where we are right now. We got a ton of work to do. We feel like we're really close in a lot of areas. I feel like we're spending an inordinate amount of time as a staff, late nights, early mornings, kind of like we just keep talking it through to make sure that we get the right collection, and we're happy with where we are right now, and excited about the coming weeks.
Do you think you'll fill up the entire? Will you use all 13 scholarships?
We're going to see. So I'll give you an example of the way that we work. So I knew that we had to put this staff together really, really fast. Okay. And I kind of zeroed in on a short list of guys and ended up with actually the 4 guys that I was desperate to get. And then we're taking a little pause. I have some more people to add to this staff, but I need to take a little pause right now and just kind of see how our pieces are fitting together. And then we'll go light speed again. But it's like a surgical pause, where you just get a chance to breathe it in and see exactly where you are and what you need. And so I imagine that as we get to that place, there will be a lot of things that would come into play. For example, I don't know how fast we can get to 10 or 11 or 12, but if we get there before this draft deadline, we definitely will take a pause, just because we're going to leave some room open in case we're talking to a bunch of guys that are in that category, and so we're going to have to leave a little bit of space, but we're not going to leave too much space because there's really talented players that actually fit us and fit together now, and so that's going to probably, our evaluation of that is going to change every day, like our evaluation of everything, because as you put pieces together, it changes the picture.
You've been
Matt, how about that for like a 2-minute answer that didn't really say anything, but that's actually really the truth.
No,
right?
no,
It's
I
really
believe
true.
that. I mean, you guys, I'm fascinated to hear you have 29. When you say you have a big board, is it like I see we had the NFL draft this weekend? I mean, do you kind of have, okay, tier A, tier B, tier C? I mean, you don't have to. Is that kind of how you look at it, or is it just sort of hodgepodge?
Well, so we got 2 things. One, we have right now in my office, I have a giant whiteboard that we rolled in here. Unfortunately, one of the wheels on the whiteboard is broken, and it's driving me crazy. Like my new EA, Megan Summers, like she's elite level, but if she can't get this wheel fixed, we're gonna have a problem. Like we can't roll this thing around, man.
I understand. Yes.
Like but we have it on the big board, and we're making. I have a huge push to go digital as we can, and so we also have several series of Google Docs. Please, BBN, don't try and break the code on our privately shared Google Docs. We need to keep some of this in house. I probably shouldn't even mention that. There's gonna be some like
No, you shouldn't do that. It's just like Coach Brooks screwed up and put your plane tail the other day. You got to be careful about that stuff.
So we'll figure all that out. But it is, and it's actually, we have, 5 different colors and several different markings, and it looks more like a cloud than it does a roster chart in terms of what we're doing on the board. But it's just because this is a very artistic, organic process. That's the way we operate. Like, I think teams are a beautiful thing, man, because they're living and they're dynamic, and they kind of, it's like a living organism. And so if you walked in and you sat with us and heard us talk, you would feel like, wow, this seems really messy. But as you get through the mess, man, something really beautiful comes out of it.
All right, let me go through some kind of quicker questions I get asked a lot. Your scheduling. You mentioned you'd like to play St. John's. Rick Pitino then said yes. Are we playing St. John's next year?
Yeah, so we're actually having a scheduling meeting tomorrow. In fact, if you guys want to, we could bring you in live. We'll just do the whole.
Okay.
I like it. Yes.
Okay.
I think people would enjoy that.
No, so Coach Fox is. We're right now we're in triage mode, which is just so guys. I love the idea of startup companies. I actually love it. I love the rush of like being in the infant stage of building, because you never get to sleep. There's 9 billion things on the list, and you only get to like 3 of them. And so we're in triage right now about like our priorities of this staff and this roster. And so a lot of super important things have been pushed to like 3 and 4, and those 2 things are so critical and crucial right now that the other stuff is just going to have to wait, even though it deserves attention right now. It's just we got to keep focused on the most important things being the most important things. So we're going to have our first real scheduling meeting tomorrow. I don't know if we'll make final decisions. I've actually talked to Coach P, and he trust me, he knows his business better than anybody. He has a good idea of like what we're going through right now, and so I think that would be super fun for Big Blue Nation. I think it'd be really fun for St. John's. It would be really incredibly special to me, and so that's something we're going to work on. But we'll make progress. You know, this roster and staff first. We'll get the scheduling here in the coming weeks.
Let me ask you about in terms of in the future. You know, Kentucky over the last few years gotten a ton of highly touted freshmen. Starting, I know this year that's tougher because of where you're coming in.
Yep.
But is your plan on the next few years, are you going after the top-tier freshmen? I mean, I know you want guys that fit your system, but do you still plan on going after those elite top 10 to 15 kind of guys?
100%. This is the University of Kentucky, right? That is a massively important component of building. I mean, come on, Kentucky is Kentucky. Of being, not building, but being what Kentucky is having the most talented players in the world, the most talented high school players in the world come be a part of this. So that will always be a very important staple. It was important for Joby Hall. It was important for Rick Pitino. It was important for it's every coach to come through it. It was really important for Cal. Cal actually, Cal redefined the process of being able to do that in his incredible contribution to the University of Kentucky. And so that's a huge part of what we'll do. And the portal is also, we're also in a brand new era, guys. Like the portal and NIL rules are different this year than they were last year. It's a brand new era, and so we're really fortunate to be at the University of Kentucky. I'll never get tired of saying that, gentlemen. At the University of Kentucky, as this new era comes also, and that adds a whole new dimension to this incredible stew that you concoct of putting together a great roster, and so that's going to be a huge piece also.
Let's talk NIL. Obviously, that's a huge thing now, maybe one of the biggest things in getting players. Do you feel like Kentucky, as of today, is in a place to be able to compete with every program in the country from an NIL perspective?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. The longer answer is we are growing, and we need to grow desperately fast. NIL is a massively important part of the landscape of college athletics, and certainly at Kentucky basketball, it is massively important. It's going to be one of the factors. It's going to be one of the foundational factors in whether we can hang banners or not. There's no two ways about it, guys. There's no way to get around that, and so it's wildly important. We are in a solid spot right now. We know that we need to grow and grow really fast. The beautiful thing about Kentucky is that we have some really, really, really significant, capable donors that are making a big difference in what we do. But what we have that no one else in the country has is we have Big Blue Nation, man. And if we can find the right ways to harness the ownership that this state and Big Blue Nation around the world has of this team, then we're going to be just fine. And that's my job. That's my job is I have to galvanize this entire fan base to jump behind this. And it's not just ownership in word or idea, but it's actually ownership in terms of participation also. And that's how we're going to roll, man. That's why this place is special. That's why it makes us different than everyone else.
Well, let me help you with that. There's you, I think, are doing an event, if I'm correct, where people who are part of Club Blue the Club Blue NIL thing can meet you. Am I right about that?
Yeah. So listen, this is it's like a. Sorry, guys.
If you need to get that, if that's somebody important, I understand. If there's a player on that other line,
I'm actually at my assistant grab this right here. Will you tell him I'm calling right back? Okay.
No. Listen, if that's important, Mark, we'll wait. I don't want you to miss out.
No. We'll be absolutely fine. We can handle this right now. This is actually what we're talking about right now. Hey, what we're talking about right now is probably the most important thing.
Okay.
So, listen, Club Blue is real. Like, this Club Blue is this is the focal point of our whole NIL life right now. We have some amazing people that are helping to run this. There is no overhead with this program. It is 100% of the money goes exactly where we want it to go. And so we're holding our first meet the team event. It's going to be June 15th. There will be details. We're hoping that we're going to almost have a completed roster by then. We should be done, if not completed. And it'll be our first kind of opportunity to spend time with the team. And so we're making a push right now for as many people in Big Blue Nation that can join Club Blue. You will make a very tangible, direct impact on this program. And so the event's going to be June 15th. Anyone who subscribes to Club Blue before May 15th is going to be invited. I'm hoping that Rupp is too small, actually, to hold this group of people. I'm hoping we have to move into the football stadium. That would be my goal. Or maybe Keeneland. Maybe we do it on the fairgrounds. I'm hoping it has to be that big a venue. But if you
let me explain to people how to do it, Mark. Yeah, Club Blue NIL, clubbluenil.com. You have to subscribe by May 15th. There'll be a meet and greet with Mark, the players, giveaways, etc. If you subscribe by May 15th, the event is June 15th, Mark, and they will meet Club Blue NIL. Is that correct?
Matt, you said that way better than I was saying, but that's exactly right. Club Blue NIL. Just go on, click Join Club Blue. There's 100 different options, but be a part of this. This is our team. Like, that's what makes it special. I hope everybody jumps on and let's do this together.
Yeah, I don't remember ever them doing an event like there was one event where they had the practice, but I don't think I've ever seen a meet and greet with the basketball program. So that will be June 15th. Do you remember, Mark, in 1997 you worked with WLEX. You obviously mentioned Cutler at the press conference. Do you remember Ryan Lemon, who's sitting here next to me?
Come on, Ryan is a legend. Are you kidding me? Like, guys, what are we talking about? So I'm just hoping that Ryan has forgot some of this totally stupid stuff we did on that True Blue.
Oh, no, I haven't.
You have not forgotten.
No, not at all.
Ryan has a question.
That's really unfortunate for me.
Like every good reporter, I have a follow-up question.
Go for it.
Okay, my first question, Mark, is kind of the serious question. I just got to know one thing. Can you tell me who's in the house tonight?
UK.
There we go.
Baby.
My second question, I've said for 28 years, my most favorite moment covering the Cats has nothing to do with happening on the court. It's when that bus rolled into Rupp Arena in '96, and a lot of memories and a lot of talk since you got the job has been pointing back to that era. Can you just talk about that special moment, and what has your '96 group chat been like since you got the job?
Yep. So it's guys. I mean, listen, there's no words, and the fact that we got to run it back with, I think, even a bigger. I think there were more people actually seated on the court than there were when he came back in '96. There's just no words. It just is. I've said this a lot since then about the press conference about driving back into the building 28 years later. That deal at Rupp had really nothing to do with me. That had to do with Big Blue Nation coming in that building and looking at each other and putting arms around each other and sharing love with each other and saying, we're still here, man, and this is real. And that, again, is like, that is, people are going to try and recreate that. People are going to try and mimic that, but that just is, that's unique to Kentucky. And so I feel all of the beauty of that, and the fact that I got to be a part of that and share that with everybody in BBN was super cool.
That was a special day, by the way, just a couple weeks ago. I hope you realize, I know you do, Mark, but I hope you felt that that day in Rupp, I mean, along with like the national championship in 2012, that's as special a day as I can remember. I hope you felt that.
Yeah, I definitely did. And you also feel the burden of responsibility, right? And you also feel that it's interesting because you feel the burden of responsibility, but you also feel like we are not in this alone. I mean, I don't know if anybody gets to walk into the job and feel like, I think you usually walk in the job and feel like the whole world's on your shoulders, which we feel here. But I also feel like I'm looking around the room and I'm like, there's 22,000 people here, and there's all my guys from 96 and all the guys from 98 and all the guys from 2012 and all the guys in between and before and after and all these fans. Like, all of us together are living and dying by every moment. That is so, guys, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, we want to have you in here so that we can talk to you for a longer session. But we knew you were busy. Thank you for making the time. I'm sure we'll get to talk to you again very soon. Club Blue NIL to get to help with the roster and to meet Mark and the team on June 15th. Mark, thank you very much, and go get us some more players.
Guys, super happy to be on. And listen, I'm telling you, I'm so incredibly grateful for the storytellers of these guys' journey. And, like, I know that you guys are speaking to every person, every BBN faithful in every barbershop and every bar around the state of Kentucky and around the world. And I'm grateful for you guys telling their story. It's super powerful, man. And it brings us all together. So grateful for what you guys do.
Thank you, Mark. Good luck to you and appreciate you coming on. Mark Pope, the new coach here at the University of Kentucky.